Alrighty, let's see what we got today. So, I'm going to be unboxing the Kings of War 2-player starter set, Ice and Shadow. Nobody sent me this. I bought this with my own cold hard cash. Believe it or not, other companies that aren't Games Workshop actually put things on sale. So basically what I do is I have a running list on Amazon of all the things that I potentially want to buy in the future, and just when they go on sale I pick them up. So this went on sale for like 33% off, so I just grabbed it. And then it showed up. So yeah, figured I would open her up for you guys. We can check out what we got. We got some shiny plastic. Let's get that out of the way and then we'll check out the box. We'll talk about what this is, what Kings of War is, and all that kind of good stuff. Alright, what do we got on the box? We got a picture of two armies fighting in lines. On the left side we got some kind of like Nordic Viking kind of people. We got some Legolas kind of elf lady with blue hair and a big ice giant in the background, and some kind of troll dudes. Then on the right we got a whole bunch of teeth, whole lot of teeth, a whole lot of not having eyes. Also some pumpkins. And so this box is one of the Kings of War 3rd edition starter sets, and it pits kind of the like Frosty Snow faction against the Nightmare faction. The Nightmare faction has kind of like abomination monsters in it. It's got some like kind of weird Halloween kind of creatures in it, which I think is really cool, but some people might think is goofy. And then the Frosty faction has a wide array of different things, from like dwarves to humans to elves. It's kind of like a hodgepodge faction. It's not like just humans or just elves or anything like that. It's got kind of a mix of everything in it. On the back we can see what we get. So we're gonna get the big rule book. Every one of these starter boxes comes with one of these, which is really nice. And then we're gonna get a bunch of these troopers with their stabby blade limbs, a bunch of the big bruiser guys. These what are like doppelgangers they're called, but they're kind of like more humanoid kind of troops. And then an HQ who's like a kind of spirit, kind of on fire guy. And then we're gonna get some human troops for the snow guys, some dwarves riding big crows, human boss guy, and then a couple different types of elves. It's pretty cool. So these, I have some of the Nightmare guys already, because Mantic does these boxes that they call ambush boxes, and they give you kind of they give you like a really tiny like starter taste of the faction. They give you like 1 or 2 sprues essentially of the faction. So I have some of their models here that I've painted up. So the big bruiser guys in the box, this is kind of one of the things that they can become. This is their ranged version where they have like vomit cannons essentially, that I printed or that I painted up there. I printed their bases. And then these are the stabby guys here. That's what they can wind up looking like, which is pretty darn cool. I quite like the Nightmare faction, which is called the Night Stalkers. So let's crack this open and we'll talk about the concepts of it a little bit more as we go. Oh. Will say I freaking hate the Mantic boxes. They're always crap. Like the actual box itself. Oh. Big props to bolt action boxes and Battletech boxes for being great. Like the physical boxes for these always suck. The stuff inside though is always ace. Alright, so let's see what we got. Whole heap of plastic. Oh, okay. So let's see here. We've got, looks like 5 bodies on this sprue. Here, let's move this out of the way so you guys can see. So you don't have to see with the other sprues in the back of the sprue. That'll make it very hard for you to see. It's 5 bodies here in the back. Boop, 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 boop. A mix of dudes and bodies with boobs. Or let me rephrase that. A mix of bodies with and without boobs. And it looks like we've got bows and then melee weapons here. And these look like some kind of curved elven swords, or like very fancy, very like pretty axes. Which is pretty cool. Like holding them backwards and all kinds of fancy. So this is our elf sprue. And they have really neat cloaks as well, which is pretty cool. And it looks like all the arms look like they can go on any body. And it looks like we have a choice for just mix and match the cloaks for everybody except for one. So we'll have a good bit of options there. And it looks like we also have different head options too. So for our 5 bodies, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads. 8 heads and our choice of ranged weapon or melee weapon on 5 bodies. So that's pretty good. So we're gonna get 1 of those. We're gonna get 2 of those. We're gonna get 4 of those in total. So we're gonna get 20 of those guys, which is pretty cool. Now, Mantic, or Kings of War, is a multi-base game, right? So I showed this guy off before. This unit, as it comes, this is what's referred to as a troop unit. It's supposed to have 10 models on it. There is no way in hell that I'm going to fit 10 models on this base unless I stack them and glue them on top of each other. So even though I have 20 guys here, and this should be 1 unit of 20 guys, I'm going to end up getting way more units out of this than what the box tells me it's going to. Because I'm just frankly going to not be able to fit as many guys on here as it tells me I am. And generally what I'm going to do is I'm going to 3D print my own bases and going to wind up with way more units than what the box tells me I should have. So that is an option with this game, because they are multi-based. Like, your units are dictated by the base and the base size, not necessarily how many dudes you crammed on the base. So if you wanted to make like a really cool vignette and have like 3 guys on the base, I mean, if anyone has problems with that, like, that's their problem, right? Like, if it looks cool, like, fuck it, right? That's cool. So we get 20 of them. Probably going to get way more than one unit out of that. All right, next up, let's see what we got. Oh, let's do these. All right, there's our 3 bruisers right there. So these are the 3 big guys I showed off earlier with the big like meat hand gobbly arms. So you'll have a couple of options in these, but the sprue actually doesn't have many options, which is kind of a letdown. One of the weird things about this sprue is it has a bunch of basing bits that you can use. I really wish they hadn't put these on here. I wish they would have given you more options for the models instead. But yeah, you end up with like 3 or 4 big basing bits, and I was like, man, I wish you guys would have just given me an extra arm or something instead, so I could have more variation in the models. But these models are super, super cool. And the neat thing is, since they're like kind of horrors and abominations, you can use the pieces from the other models on them. So you can see here, I gave my guys extra arms. See the extra like 3rd arms they have? Yeah, those are actually from the other models. I just glued them on and they look cool. So Since they're nightmare creatures, you can go to town. So that's the big bruisers for the nightmare guys. Ooh, I haven't actually seen these before. This is the Birdo sprue for the dwarves. That's cool. He's got big wings. So let's see. We've got big wings. We've got our Birdo's body here. We've got a Birdo head. We've got a dwarf with a spear. We've got another dwarf head there. Got the dwarf's back. We've got more wings. The texture on that is fantastic. Look at the texture in that wing. That's going to be so much fun to paint. Like, real talk. If you buy this and just paint it black, like, that's going to be a real shame. Like, doing this in, like, a dark blue and then hitting it with a black wash, and then, like, a, kind of like a bluish gray, like, dry brush. Oh, be fantastic. That's cool, though. That's a cool bird. Oh, there's more bird. Okay. Why do we have more bird? I thought you only got 2 birds. So yeah, so there's 2 bird sprues there. What is this bird sprue? Oh, this isn't a complete bird. Oh, this is alternate bird bits. Okay. So it looks like this is a complete bird. And then this is alternate bits for the rider. So 2 more heads, alternate wings for the birds, which means you're going to wind up with 2 extra sets of bird wings, which are always freaking useful for kit bashing. 2 extra heads for the rider, extra arm weapon options for the rider, and a whole extra rider, and an extra alternate bird head. That's pretty cool. It's kind of a shame you don't get an extra bird body, because then you could just build 4 birds. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so your bird's going to have a lot of options. The only thing you're going to be missing is legitimately these 2 body pieces, and you're going to have 4 birds. And that's cool. Those are really nice sprues. Alright. This is the Stabity Monster sprue. So those nightmare creatures with the big stabby arms that I showed off earlier, that's these guys. Now these guys, I have been told there's 2 different versions of these to build in the game. One version has the stabby arms, like these, and one version, no, like those there. One version has the claw hands. And then supposedly people like to use the faces with the split open mouths and the faces without the split open mouths, like those, to dictate the different units. But as far as I can tell, there isn't like official, this unit has this unit has that. So I think it's kind of build whatever you want. I like the Stabity arms better. I think they look cooler because they have Stabity legs. So in my brain, it makes sense for them to have Stabity arms. But you can see there's tons of neat detail here. So again, the Stabity arms, the claws, and the heads. And there's tons of different heads. You're going to wind up with like just an insane amount of extra bits here. You get about 5 of these guys per sprue. You get 5 guys per sprue. You do also get basing bits, which again is kind of a shame because I don't want to use those. I mean, if you don't have like a 3D printer or you don't want to make your own basing bits, maybe they're useful, but I think it's kind of a waste, to be honest, on this sprue. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, see these big chunks here? They could have just put another body in there, and you could just have another guy. I would have much rather had them do that. Oh, it looks like I had a piece break off here. But I'm sure it's in the box somewhere. But yeah, another really, really cool sprue of monsters. And when they're all done, you will get, from each one of those sprues, you'll get one of these. All done up. Which is pretty darn cool. Oh, I just noticed this guy's elbow claw broke off. Oh well, it's okay. He has lots of other stabby claws. Alright. So you're gonna get 5, 10, 15, 20? Holy shit, do you really get 20 of them in the box? Wow, you do. Okay. I didn't think you got... I only thought you got 10 of these in the box. Apparently you get 20 of them in the box. That's awesome. Okay. I thought you only got 2 spaces worth, but apparently you get 20 of them in the box. That's freaking sweet. Cool. Alright. So that other limb should be floating around the box somewhere. I'll just have to keep an eye out for it. And then we get these. So my understanding, these are pretty old sprues. I have never seen these sprues before, but these are for the pumpkin head kind of scarecrow guys. I think they look really cool. Some people say they're goofy, but I think they look cool AF. But oh yeah, this is an old sprue. Look at all that space. A lot of space on that runner. Man, woof. That's an old runner. Alright, so it looks like we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bodies, 5 sets of legs, some of which are becoming tentacles, because of course they are. And then we have a whole bunch of heads. Some of which are like wraps, some of which are pumpkins. That one's just straight up a pumpkin, okay? Like for real. And it looks like three of the bodies have one attached arm. But to be honest, that would be really easy to clip off if you really wanted them to have double unique arms. Oh look, you can give one of them a hat. So yeah, they're kind of cute. I like those. They're cool. I think that's the one that's supposed to have the hat right there. Definitely kind of weird with the pumpkin heads, but not in like necessarily a bad way. I think they're cool though. They're like weird little pumpkin creepy boys. And then you're gonna get 5, 10, 15, 20 of those. So on one side, you're going to get 5 stabby monsters, 5 of the bruisers. You're going to get 10 stabby monsters, 15 stabby monsters, 20 stabby monsters, 5 scarecrows, 10, 15, 20 scarecrows. So you're going to get 45 models on one side. That's pretty awesome. Ugh. So we're going to keep a running model count because at the end of this I'm going to tell you how much I paid for it on sale. Like, I also want to point, these models look really nice, right? Like, sometimes semantic models can be a little janky, but every model I've shown up here looks really good. Like, there's no jank or weirdness in any of these. Like, they all look fantastic. So, just want to throw that out there. Alright, what do we got here? We got... Ooh, Vikings. Damn, they're cool. They're really cool. Holy shit, they're really cool. Oh, the bits on their shields? Like the horns and stuff? Look at this big backpack piece. with the big elk antler, or the big like moose antlers. Wow, those are a lot cooler than I thought they would be when I opened the sprue. Yeah, those are super cool. So we have, what, 10 bodies on here. And... oh, look at the tiger. Look at the kitty cat head. That's freaking awesome. Look at the kitty cat head. That's super cool. Alright, so we got 10 bodies and we have 10 heads there. Then we got a bunch of weapons. It does look like everybody is repeated twice, which is kind of a shame. Dude, do we have little foxes on here? Dude, we have little foxes on here. There's little fucking foxes on here. Look at that shit. That's cool as hell. Oh, that's really legit. I didn't know anything. I didn't know those were on there. That's really cool. These are really cool guys. Oh man, I wonder if these would go really well with the North Star military figures ones for Frostgrave. Oh, I need to look at that later. I need to break out some North Star military figures later. See if these would go really well with the ones for Frostgrave. That's really cool. Alright, so 5 bodies, 5 heads. I wish we had more heads. That's something I wish that was there. Fortunately, we don't have more heads. We do have little foxes, which is really freaking cool. And it looks like we have a choice of spears or melee weapons. Yeah, it looks like the melee weapons look like they're intended to be with the shields. So it looks like these guys are always going to have shields. It's kind of a shame that the melee weapons are not like dual hands, like left and right. It looks like they're always right hand. It'd be kind of cool if they were like berserker kind of things. But the shields are really cool. Like look at the antlers and stuff on them. That's freaking sweet. And then we get 20 of those. 20 of those. So we have 43 nightmare creatures. We have 20 here, and then we have 20 here. Then we have 2. So we have 42 of those. So in total we have 85 models so far. Alright, now we have a bunch of bases. Now this is something I'm going to complain about with Mantic. I know I've been like kind of just gushing this whole time. I hate MDF bases. I think they're terrible. I have no problem with people that like MDF bases. I don't like that I can't easily magnetize them because there's no lip on the bottom. Because I like to magnetize on my bases. So basically what I do is I just 3D print on my bases. I also don't like that their MDF bases usually aren't the same height as their plastic bases. These ones are, which is like a miracle, which is pretty cool. Lots of times they aren't the same height, but that's actually really cool that they actually are there. So, so good props to that for that. But I'm not a big fan of MDF bases, so I will not be using these suckers. I will be 3D printing my own. Alright. We have our resin boss minis here. The Mantic resin stuff's usually pretty good. The detail's usually pretty great. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, it looks like the head broke off his axe, but it is floating around in the bag. There he is. He's like a double axe berserker guy. He's kind of neat. He's not like anything super cool. This faction does have some really cool leaders. There's a guy on like a big three-headed like manticore thing that's really cool. And there's like a lady tracker who comes in the Frost Legion or whatever the hell these guys are called. Army box that is really cool too. She's super cool, and she's another resin model too. So this faction does have really cool resin models, but he's okay. He's kind of meh. All right, what do we have here? We've got the goopy warlock thing for the Nightmare guys. Pretty cool. There he is, screaming his head off, literally. Looks pretty cool. He's kind of like a shade. Kind of neat. Kind of made like he's like made out of like tortured goo. It's kind of neat. Not a bad looking model. So that brings us up to 87. 87 minis. All right. Another base. Let's see what we got. We've got that part that fell off. I've got that part that fell off for that Night Stalker. And a whole bunch of other plastic bits that I don't know where they fell off from, so I don't think they're important. So we're gonna let them be. Alright. Then in all these starter boxes, we've got the last two things. Oh, we'll get to you in a minute. This is the big book. This is the entire Kings of War rulebook. And when I say the entire rulebook, I literally mean the entire rulebook. This isn't a abbreviation. When you go out and spend $40 and buy the rulebook, this is the one you're getting. It includes all the write-ups for all the magical items, all the rules, all of the fluff, all of the army lists, all of the rules, literally everything. This is like, yeah, this is like the rule book for the game. So pretty darn cool that it's in here. When you consider this, they sell this for $40 by itself, on top of 87 miniatures. So keep that in mind. And then this is the like scenario book. They do one of these for each one of these starter sets. It's usually like a getting started book on how to build miniatures. It's usually the instructions on how to build. Yeah, see, there's the Reaper has the claws. The Tormentor has the dagger hands. The Ravager has the meat cannon. Scarecrows have the hats. You know, stuff like that. And this gives you a little bit of a primer and what each of the armies is, how to do movement, how gameplay works, all that kind of good stuff. So nice little thing. It also tells you about the companion. Magic Companion's okay. It's not as good as the one-page rules companion, but it's not bad. All right, so 87 minis, full rulebook, and the primer. I got this on sale for $90. That means the rulebook cost me $3 if every mini cost me $1. Yeah. Other companies actually put things on sale. It's a miracle. It's a freaking miracle. And it's really cool. But all these minis look amazing. I cannot wait to build these birds. They're going to be really cool. I'm actually really excited for those the Vikings. They look really, really cool. I've been playing a game called Last Epoch, and there's like an ice faction in that, and I think when I saw this to go on sale, I think that definitely motivated me to be like, click the yes button on it, you know? So much so I actually already started 3D printing things for it. So this is going to be my ice giant to go with the ice army. They have a giant 3D bear instead of the ice giant that they make, because I think having a giant bear is way freaking cooler. So there he is. But yeah, it should be a good time, and it should make some really cool models, and should have some fun projects in the future. But that is an unboxing and a rundown on everything that Kings of War is, everything that's in this box, everything you get for your money, which is, as you've seen, an absolute insane. Well, I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys for watching me talk about toys for a half hour. Hopefully you have a good one, and keep on keeping on.